Alrighty, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker podcast brought to you by Boss Shot Shells. I am Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous fucking Andy Shaver. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing awesome. Awesome. We got the Bassmaster Elite Series Angler of the Year, Mr. Seth Feider, on with us today. How are you, Seth?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
We're doing awesome. So
all that work to find out where the fuck he's from, and you left out Minnesota.
Minnesota,
That's home of Bigfoot now, right?
No, Michigan.
Oh, Michigan is where Bigfoot's at. Have you seen Bigfoot ever on any of your fishing shit, or just a bunch of hairy, ugly-ass women?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard of Bigfoot. I don't think I've ever actually saw one.
Well,
but I've heard them do mating calls off like islands and stuff when I've been fishing. But
like legitimately, you seriously heard it?
oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, there's lots of Bigfoots around.
Y'all just got some ugly women.
Real elusive, but yeah.
So you're a Bigfoot believer?
Absolutely.
What? So there's a new video circulating. You'll have to ask Brandon where the Cass River is in Michigan. Evidently, there was a Bigfoot like out in the middle of it, and he was walking in the middle of the river up onto the bank.
Yeah, that's a Bigfoot hot zone.
That's what they said. That's what they what they said. Like power lines or something, and there's like an easement that they can walk through.
Yeah.
I think you guys been drinking too much of that golden Michelob Light or whatever the hell they call that stuff.
Maybe, I don't know. I definitely hear them.
How old are you, Seth?
36.
36. Are you ever going to have a real job, you think, or is this it? You live in the dream.
Nah, yeah, I'm done with real jobs, I think. At least till I can't fish anymore.
Hell, I don't think you ever get where you can't fish, do you?
I mean, you get in your 60s, 70s, it seems like you don't catch them as good anymore. But
is the fishing is it getting to be a young man's game? The pro series?
I wouldn't say so. Not compared to like most sports. I'd say a guy's prime's basically 35 to 45-ish. It'd be kind of the prime for a fishing career versus, other sports. It's like mid-20s.
Now, what is that about? Just you've got the experience and...
Yeah, it's a combination of still having the energy to do it and being smart enough and having enough experience to know how to use your energy.
Right. Now, because I mean, it's don't take this the wrong way, but I mean, it's not this physically exerting sport. So like, whenever you say that you're in your prime, it's not like your fucking shoulder's going to go out or anything like that, right?
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's a marathon. Each tournament's like 7 days long and long days. I mean,
you're out in the sun. You're out in the sun and shit like that, wearing you down to exhaustion.
Andy always has a way to offend anybody we get on here. So now you're saying fishermen are not in shape.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I mean, you can be overweight and do it, and I mean, I'm not that strong and I can do it. It's not like a pro sport, but you've got to. It still takes.
It pays the bills and the chicks dig it.
Well,
so
and
you're living the life.
You've got to have the endurance to go the 7 days out in the sun, fishing hard, and keep your wits about you whenever you're down and you need to make something big happen.
Yeah.
Now, I've noticed a trend. We've had two fishermen guys on here, and both guys got some serious hair game going on.
Yeah, we're just in that crew. There's only like 3 of us that got the flow, and you just happen to get 2 of them.
Well, y'all would be the fun guys to hang out with then.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So I got to know, how did you get the nickname the Llama?
It's really not that good of a story, but me and Mark Zona were taping a show on Lake Ontario. We were supposed to be there for 3 days, and we got to fish like the first half of the first day, and then it blew like 40 miles an hour the rest of the time we were there. So we just sat in the hotel room drinking beers all day, and he gets weird and just starts screaming random things, and he kept screaming llama for those like 2 days, and then we had a tournament right after that, and I caught a big fish, and I yelled llama into the camera. He does like the commentary for our tournament, so it's kind of like an inside joke towards him, and then it just stuck. I don't know. It's not that good of a story, but
well, because I've heard them call you llama, and then I also heard them call you the Fighter Man. So I don't know which nickname do you prefer?
Both work.
Llama.
I like llama.
Yeah.
That's a cool name. That's. I don't know anybody else named llama, so that's cool.
I bet people were watching and were like, "What the fuck is he saying? Like, what is he? Did he say llama, Cheryl? Did he say llama?"
So, duck hunting or fishing? What would you rather do?
Duck
I knew you were going to say that.
No doubt. And I don't know if it's because I fished for like 9 months and duck hunt for a couple. It might be the other way around if I like hunted for 9 months and only fished for 2. But it's my favorite thing to do.
If there was a pro duck hunting series, that would be the thing to do. Be a professional duck hunter.
That would be
badass.
I don't know if I'm good. I enjoy it. I'm a lot better at fishing than duck hunting, but I'd rather duck hunt than fish.
You like to field hunt or do you like to water hunt ducks?
Oh, whatever. I mean, we don't get our field hunting for ducks is pretty late. You know, we get a good week of it in Minnesota, maybe 2. And we always got some water to shoot. But if I'm going to hunt water, I like a really little water, like beaver ponds, irrigation ditches, little rivers, somewhere you can get them tight. And then the field hunting's always fun. It's just it's pretty limited when we get to do it around the house.
Where do you hunt at Minnesota? Western Minnesota?
Right around that. No, like south of the cities, kind of that Farmington, Lakeville area.
Now, do you ice fish at all?
Zero,
That's
none.
just a drinking sport.
Every once in a while I'll go, like maybe every 5 years I'll go just to remind myself why I don't do it, and then done with it. Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Why do you say that?
I just like, compared to like summertime fishing, like I don't know, like I'll drop my jig to the bottom of the ice hole and hop at one time, and if I don't get a bite, like I'm ready to move. But that requires like dragging a house and drilling holes and all that crap, and it's more like a waiting game, waiting for fish to come to you, and that just drives me nuts.
Yeah. Do you turkey hunt at all?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I've gone the last couple of years. Minnesota's always been a draw state, and with our fishing schedule in the spring, it'd be hard for me to line up a turkey hunt. But the last 2 years they went over the counter, so I have been turkey hunting just the last 2 years. I did it a bunch when I was a kid. Like that was probably my favorite week of the year because my dad would pull me out of school. We'd go turkey hunting. At the time, it was closed. It closed at noon every day. In the area we turkey hunted, it was full of like little trout streams and stuff. So we'd go for a week. You know, you'd turkey hunt till noon, and then I'd trout fish from noon till dark, and miss school for a week. And that was probably my favorite childhood experience with my old man.
Now, do you have like the same? Do you have like the same mentality when you're turkey hunting? Like, listen, we gotta get something going. Or are you more patient than you are ice fishing?
Yeah, more patient. Ice fishing drives me nuts. Yeah. I usually only get I might only get like 2-3 days to turkey hunt, so we do kind of got to make some stuff happen.
Now listen, ice fishing, it's just a drinking sport. They can say what they want. That's the only reason you're sitting out there is so you can nip whiskey all day and not feel bad about yourself.
They're all just hiding from their wives getting drunk, and if they catch a fish, it's a bonus.
That's exactly right. That's how I envision it in like these big shanties, and yeah, you're just.
Oh yeah, there's guys that have ice houses nicer than my house.
No shit, huh?
Big screen TVs, multiple beds, satellite dish on it. I mean, they trick them out.
That's the kind I was in.
It had a big screen TV and
it was
beds in it.
It was damn nice.
Oh, they got stoves, fridges, all everything.
Yeah, they had this Traeger.
Really?
Some bitches were nice. Bailey took care of me. It was a nice place.
Fuck, you don't even have to go home if you got that kind of setup.
Yeah. Where'd you go ice fish?
To which lake was I on? It was up by Ely. I can't remember which lake it was. It was in the Boundary Waters. And,
Okay,
and I can't remember the name of the damn lake.
There's a bunch up there. Yeah.
It was
10,000 of them.
We were way the hell up there. We
No, that's a cool spot.
one of our listeners and friend of mine invited me and my wife to come out, and we drove out, and we drove. First thing he asked me, I'm from West Texas, and he says, "Have you ever driven on a frozen lake?" Never in my life, but by God, I will. Anyways, I told my wife on the way out there, I said, "Now just make sure," I said, keep your seatbelt on because the waves might get real bad. It's kind of windy today." But it was a different experience, and we just went for a couple hours during the middle of the day. I think it'd be fun to do a guy trip for a couple of days out there, but it'd be just a drinking and bullshitting deals more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know nothing about the ice fishing game. It scares me because I don't want the ice to crack and me go under. I don't do water.
You wasn't worried about no ice. This shit was about 6 foot thick, I think. It was right after the big cold front. But where's your favorite place to fish besides up north? Besides Minnesota?
I'd say maybe Lake Fork. I've only been there one time, but I went to the California Delta, and that was badass. But out of the places we go regularly, I'd say Lake Fork's probably my favorite.
Lake Fork's the most famous bass fishing lake in America, probably. Is that a pretty true statement?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Now, Lake Fork hasn't been around a long time, has it? 30 years, maybe?
I think probably, no, it's been around longer than that, but it is a newer reservoir compared to most. I don't know the exact date, but I think for sure been around since the 70s.
But I was born in 68, so I grew up in the 70s. You didn't hear about it as a fishing lake till I was almost in college. Then it was the big lake to go to.
Yeah, they did a lot of work to it. I mean, Texas puts a lot into their bass fishing. Like Minnesota DNR could care less about a bass, but they got that share lunker program down there where every fish over 13 pounds they breed them, so all the fry they're stocking in their lakes are essentially coming from 13 plus pound fish, so the genetics are top of the notch, and that's what they're putting back into their lakes versus just random fry.
So where's the place in South Texas that's got the fishing?
What are you talking about in South Texas?
On the border. Actually, you're like in Mexico.
Lake Amistad or Lake Falcon Lake. Have you fished either one of those?
I have not. They went there before I started fishing with them. I think they went to both those lakes in like 2008. And Lake Falcon at the time broke like every record there was for heaviest fish, heaviest limits, total weight, and everything.
They're nice lakes, but you got to take a fucking machine gun with you because of the fucking drug cartels nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's kind of why we don't go back there anymore. But yeah.
Have you been to Old Mexico fishing yet?
Have not, no.
I got a friend of mine, Rustin, owns Dry Creek Outfitters. He's fishing there right now. He's a big bass fisherman. He's in Mexico right now.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Fuck that. No good, Jeff.
He loves it. And I've got some other friends that went down there and went fishing. The fishing's incredible. The lodge, it's not. You just got to worry about getting your ass shot. Just getting kidnapped.
So how do they decide, like, what lakes you're going to fish? Is it like a rotation that they have, or is it new every year?
No, it's a different schedule every year. There's some, like, places we go more often than others, like Lake Gunnersville, Lake Fork, places like, the big historic tournament places, and then they throw in some oddball ones every year. A lot of it has to do with like the tourism departments for the towns and stuff, because they pay for us to come there. So we do go to some really subpar fisheries, and that's basically just because that town or county or whatever wants us there. But for the most part, we go to the best lakes at the best times. So to try to, make it more exciting for the tournaments.
So whenever
people like seeing big ones got.
Whenever something like that happens and you go into this subpar fishery, are you like, motherfucker, I'm going to have to dig deep to do anything on this piece of shit?
Not really. I kind of like them. I think they're easier to win than like a Lake Fork or something like that. Like one of the places we go that's not a great fishery is Sabine River. It's basically the Gulf Coast of Texas, all that intercoastal water down there. That place, like, I mean, a 2-pounder is a nice one. And I feel like a tournament like that, it's easier to win than like a Lake Fork, just because you could catch, there's still some decent fish in there. You could catch 1 5-6 pound fish on a Sabine River type place and like literally ride that thing out all 4 days. Obviously you need limits of keepers and stuff, but I mean, Lake Fork, you could go catch 30 plus pound stringer every day and finish 5th.
Right. So what you're saying is like when you get to a tough lake or a tough place like down in South Texas, you've got the skill that you can catch something like where as you go to one of these big fisheries, everybody's going to do well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do when you go to these places that are like the Sabine River, y'all fished the Red River a couple years ago at Shreveport, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
They have, that was a couple of years before I started, but yeah.
I mean, that's a big, that's a huge watershed to just.
Yeah, a lot, yeah.
What,
a lot of the places we go are.
have you had days where the weather just completely keeps y'all from being able to get in, big high wind, 30, 40 mile an hour days where you just can't do nothing?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, we get canceled days a lot, and practice days where there's nothing you can do, you know.
Oh, so they'll cancel if it's a Saturday or Sunday and the last day and it's a money day? They'll cancel if the weather's bad?
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't know.
Big winds usually, or lightning.
I didn't.
Other than that, we're pretty much going.
Now, is there also a walleye a tour for just catching walleyes?
There is.
Do you
Yep.
do you fish on it ever too?
No, I don't do that. Which most of the people that live around me, that's what they're into, is the walleye stuff. You know, that's most of your Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan guys, Dakota guys. They're kind of all into the walleye stuff, and you know, the majority of the bass fishermen are, you know, Texas, Florida, Alabama. They're kind of all out of there. So,
well, a guy from Minnesota wins the Angler of the Year. Now, you got $100,000 bonus check for that, right?
hell yeah.
And a what else did you get?
Did you get?
Badass trophy and instant legend status.
You're the first legend we've had on here. We've had some self-proclaimed legends, but you're the actual first legend. You got $100,000 check. Is that the biggest check you've ever had?
Absolutely, yeah.
What are you buying? You're gonna buy you something? I know you got a toy or something you're gonna get. What are you buying?
I'm saving up. I'm hoping to. Well, you guys know Lee, right?
Yes.
He's talking about moving up north in a couple of years, and I'd like his place is like my dream setup. So hopefully he'll let me get that thing off him. So that's what all my money's going to right now.
So you're saving money to buy a place. You're smart. You're not a good redneck. A redneck would have blowed that shit on something else.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to get out of the cul-de-sac, man. I got neighbors 10 feet away from me. I want some peace and quiet.
It's hard.
I want to be able to discharge firearms right out my back door.
Hard to work on your cast when your neighbors are that far away in your underwear. You know, sometimes you want to go out there and cast a little bit in your drawers. Can't do that.
I just want to be able to pee in my front yard and discharge firearms.
That's the dream. That's the dream for you.
I must be living the dream because I pissed in my backyard this morning.
Yeah, but you didn't shoot off a fucking 9mm round just because it's Tuesday
Well, no, I
morning.
didn't want to do that, but I'll do that tomorrow just to show I can do it. I'm gonna piss in my backyard and shoot a gun.
He'll be arrested.
So, what you won as Angler of the Year, is that off of a point system or how does that?
Yeah, it's 100 boats. We got 9 tournaments. First place at each tournament's 100 points, and it goes down a point in every spot. And then after 9 tournaments, whoever got the most points wins.
Did you know you were a pretty good chance of winning it before you went in? Was you locked in on it, or was it a?
Yeah, that's kind of what made it so nerve-wracking for me. I'd say halfway through the season, I was sitting pretty good, and I usually do better. Our last 2 tournaments were in New York, and I usually do a lot better in New York than I do down south. So I had a big lead going into New York, and I don't know, for some reason that made me more nervous than anything. But yeah, we locked her down at the end of the year and didn't mess up. You know, that's all I was worried about, was like fucking up the whole time. Like everyone's like, "Oh, you got it. You know, you're going up north with a big lead, you got it." And it's like, man, shit happens. You lose fish, motors blow up, break down, you don't get back in on time. Hell, the one place we were fishing, St. Lawrence River, half the river's off limits. You make your bait lands 1 foot over the side of the line one time and you're DQ'd. I mean, I tried to stay away from the border, but shit happens, you know. There's no guarantees. So
How long had you had that lead for? Like leading up to this, did you?
I think I started leading about mid-season, and then kind of progressively just got a little bigger lead going up into each event, really.
So is that what you meant whenever we first got on? You said you've been stressed the last couple of months. Is that just because you've had that lead and like you just, if you're like me, like I'm a glass half empty guy. Like I keep waiting to shit the bed. Like it's gonna happen, and I'm a fucking.
No, that's what I'm thinking the whole time, and it's like I put all this stress and like the first day of the last tournament of the year, I was literally like dry heaving before blast off. Like I was so nervous, and I shouldn't have been. I mean, I had like a big lead going into it, but you just nightmare days happen, and it's fishing. You can't count on anything, and made me super nervous, and that's why I think if I was like a little bit behind and like kicked ass in the last couple and like took it from someone else, it'd have been more like, hell yeah, I just won. But like literally, when I finally did, you know, the second day of the last tournament, I caught him good the first 2 days. That's when I knew it was over, and it was just more like the weight of the world was like lifted off my shoulders. Like we got it, not as much as like a fuck yeah, we just took it from somebody, because it was mine to lose, you know.
Right. Yeah, that's a tough position to be in, especially because I've got a fucked up mentality about things. Like Jeff can attest to this. If we've got a hot field and I'm hunting it the next day, I'm a nervous fucking wreck. I don't sleep that night. I'm asking a million questions because it's just like, I'm going to shit the bed tomorrow. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to go out there. Something's going to fuck up. There's going to be a heavy frost or something, and I'm going to shit the bed.
You guys are both young. I'm in my mid-50s. Learn to enjoy the moment. I know it's easy to say that, but looking back, you're going to think, man, I just wish I'd have just enjoyed that more. Life, you only get one chance on this rock anyways. You're going to have good and bad happen. Take the good and enjoy it all you can. Because you're a consistent,
not how I'm wired.
You're a consistent fisherman, or you wouldn't be where you were at to win that, because that's all about consistency. Is there very many multiple winners of this award, or is it?
Not too many. I mean, it's a pretty short list for how many years it's been going on. There's a handful of guys that have won a couple, and I think there's maybe only half a dozen multiple winners of it. But some of the guys have won them. Like Kevin Van Dam's won it 4 times, and Roland Martin won it 7, 8 times. That was kind of back in the day before it was. I don't think it was as competitive back then. Like a good fisherman really dominate. I think the further we go in the sport, the less you're going to see multiple winners of it, just because it's getting so competitive.
It's like NASCAR. When Richard Petty was winning all the races, he was racing against 2 or 3 guys, and that was it, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now you're going against 50 guys that could win it, you know.
All right. My question is, I don't understand. I don't know a lot about the fishing circuit, but I'm assuming a guy, long-haired fellow like you named the Llama, just don't go buy a boat and a truck and back into a boat and just enter these tournaments. It's got to be harder than that to get into Elite Series fishing.
Yeah, well, you got to qualify for them. They got the Bassmaster Opens. That's kind of the minor league of our circuit, and basically they take the top few guys and points out of that every year, and then you get into the Elite Series, which is like the top level circuit.
Now,
but anybody can sign up and fish an open. It's wide open. If you got a boat and you got money, you can pay your entry fee and fish it. But you know, if you ain't good, it ain't gonna end well.
Are you seeing more and more people kind of do that just pay their money and enter into it just to say that they've fished in an open?
No, I think it's more guys. It's a lot more guys trying to make it to the big leagues doing it. I'd say before it was more, you know, it's a lot more like kids coming out of college and stuff like that fishing them, where before I think it was a lot of more like guys that own their own business and were just kind of fucking off, just having fun, blowing some money. And
yeah, because I could see a college kid, you know, like, fuck it, we'll pay our money. We got a boat. We'll go fuck these guys up this weekend.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, they try.
they try. So
That's where most of the good talent's coming out of now, because when I grew up, there wasn't any of that stuff, but now you got these high school fishing leagues and the college fishing leagues, and these kids are traveling around the country doing stuff, where when I grew up, you just fished your local lake right down the street, that's where you learned everything, and now these guys are traveling the country and fishing tournaments, and the kids coming out of college now are way better than, because before, like I said, this was kind of 30s, 40s-year-old, 50-year-old guys sport, but now with between the internet and all the stuff you can learn so easy, and the electronics, these young kids coming out of college they're jumping right into the big leagues, a year or two after college, and they're really, really good.
See, that's crazy. I remember hearing we had a hunter coming out here, and he's like, yeah, I coach my son's fishing team. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, yeah, we got a fishing team at our high school. We go all over the state. It's like, what the fuck? They're adding shit every year. There's new sports every year.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be monsters if they just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Is that gonna raise the bar for like you guys that are in your late 30s, 40s? Like, how are you gonna compete with that with kids that have been like doing this circuit?
Yeah, I mean, we still got experience, which is gonna help over everything. I'm just saying, like, before, a lot of quote unquote rookies on our tour were guys in their 30s and 40s, and now you're just seeing it's 25 and 26-year-old guys coming in now. But at the end of the day, that doesn't much matter. You still got to catch them every day you go out there.
Right.
It doesn't end well.
Now, you were close to this a couple years ago, weren't you? You were a year or two ago. You were almost
in
over the year.
Top 10 a few times, but never realistically had a good shot at it, because usually my weak points down south, and our tournaments are heavy down south, heavy in the spring. So a lot of my points finishes ended up being good, but I've made a really good comeback. Usually we have 2 or 3 up north, and that's where I'll make my move. But, I might have been coming from the 20s or 30s and jumped up to 5th or 10th or something at the end of the year. Never really been in a position where it was like had a chance to win all the way throughout the year,
Yeah. So when does your season like kick off? You start off in the spring, and then when does it end?
Last year was a nightmare. Every year we start like first week of February. And then last year with all the COVID BS, all our stuff got shut down, and we actually finished our season in like middle of November.
Wow.
And this year is like the earliest it's ever been done. A typical year we start beginning of February and end somewhere end of August, early September. This year we started beginning of February, and just last week or a couple days ago, our season ended. This is the earliest it's ever ended, but the year before I was fishing at Lake Fork in the middle of November, and it was driving me nuts. Like, my buddies are sending me pictures of piles of greenheads, and I'm out sweating my ass off in Texas. And fishing down south like sucks in the fall. Like, It's really good spring, early summer, but like when you get into that September, October, November period down south, it's just a grind. Like, barely get 5 bites a day, and I was down there sweating my ass off, not catching anything, and my buddies were all driving me nuts, talking to them every night, pounding wood ducks and greenheads and geese, and I'm down here like trying to catch a bass in 100-degree weather.
Send them a picture of that $100,000 check.
There's got to be some cold days on the water in early February.
Oh yeah, we almost always start in Florida.
Oh, okay.
So it's not too bad, but it's usually like the second or third tournament of the year that's the coldest. When we move up to like Tennessee in mid-February or something like that. There's definitely some 20-some degree days out there.
Oh, yeah, that's cold, especially in the water.
So
cold fishing, it's perfect for duck hunting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So is y'all season? Is this Bassmaster Series season over now until the fall?
Till next spring.
Till next spring. So you're basically off now until
February 1st, but really about around Christmas, early January, I got to start getting shit rolling for next year.
What do you mean?
Get the boat, rig it, wrap it, put all the electronics on, get everything dialed, sort all my tackle, get everything lined up, just make sure I'm ready. 'Cause when we hit the road in February, there's not much downtime. We basically fished a tournament every other week this year.
Are you
February?
Are you gonna be at Game Fair?
I don't know. I might swing in there. It's not far from my house. It's probably only 45 minutes from my house, but I got some shows I got to shoot and a photo shoot too. So I don't know how it's gonna line up, but I might swing in there.
So how does all this work now that you're Angler of the Year? What all do you have to do now that you've got this title? Because I know you're on like a media blitz tour now.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a lot of interviews, shows, photo shoots, a whole bunch of not fishing stuff.
Now, so is that the Bassmaster that has you doing this stuff, or how does that work?
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff for them and just other media sources. And pretty much every sponsor I got, they're going to want some sort of, a couple days of your time to, do a press release and photos and videos and all kinds of stuff. So we got to keep everybody happy.
That's got to be the tough part. Like the fishing, fishing's the easy part. It's all the other stuff that comes along with winning that's got to be hard on you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it works out. I mean, it's a lot of extra work, but it's the only way you can do it. Because this isn't actually a real job. You know what I mean? Like, we can't the world doesn't need us. It's not like we're a doctor or a police officer or something. You know what I mean? So the sponsors are huge in our industry, and you can't really make a lot of money without sponsors. As far as what we pay in entry fees and what we win for prize money on an average year. So it's just part of the deal, taking care of them, because you couldn't really do it without them.
Now, why did this season end so quickly? Why did it end mid-July?
I think they were just kind of making up for what happened last year and, fishing into November. But on a normal year, we'd still have a couple tournaments left, and I think we'll go back to that next year.
Right. So you think they were just kind of looking out for you guys since you had to fish so late last year into November?
Yeah.
Give them, wrap it up about 6 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. So now, what's your plans now? You got all this time in the world. When are you going to hunt a lot more this year? What are we doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to trick out a couple boats, get my trailer all set up, because I got a new trailer 2 years ago and haven't even had a chance to do anything to it. I just got all my decoys just piled in there, and I want to trick it out, get my boat right and all that, get ready to kill some stuff.
Have you gone up to Canada ever?
Yeah, I've been to Canada before. I'm planning on going this year, provided we can get in. So
I think August 9th, as long as you're fully vaccinated, you can get across the border.
Yeah, well, that's what they say now. So we'll see what happens August 9th. But
are you vaccinated? Did you have to get vaccinated to fish?
No, we didn't have to get vaccinated, but I'll figure something out to get across the border.
Spoken like a true waterfowl maniac.
Yeah.
I hope everything goes smooth with the border, because I know there's a lot of outfitters that are pretty stoked that news came out that people are going to get back across. Where did you go when you hunted in Canada?
We did a little tour. Started up by we hunted all Manitoba. I don't know. We were just freestyling across there. We drove up one morning, just ripped till we saw birds, and then got a hotel and hunted for 4 or 5 days and pinned her back.
Now, will you do any sort of fishing now that your season is over? Like, will you just go out, just you, and fuck off?
Yeah, no, I like fun fishing. Yeah, I'll do that. I got 2 little girls. I'll take them out. We'll go catch some bluegills, and probably not going to do much for tournaments around the house, but I'll do a lot of fun fishing.
So do you, how long will you go before you're like, yeah, you know what, I'll get back on the water for a little bit, fish around a little bit?
It don't take long for me to start missing it.
Really?
Right now I'm ready to just not touch a rod or look at a bait at all, but a week from now I'll probably be all jacked up and ready to go.
You're a bigger man than me, because I know after hunting season here, I'm like, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to look at another decoy or another A-frame or any of that shit. I am done. But
yeah,
when you love what you do, it's hard to bitch too much. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
we've cheated the system because I get to hunt birds for a living and you get to fish for a living. So things could be a whole lot worse.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No complaints.
No,
So,
never.
will you go to like a Cabela's, a Bass Pro Shops and sign autographs and for your sponsors? Do you have days that you have to do stuff like that?
Yeah, we do a lot of in-store promotion stuff like that.
Now,
Org shows. I mean, that's all kind of really been pushed back and low like the last year or so with all the COVID stuff. But yeah, on a normal year, you'd be doing a lot of appearances and in stores and trade shows and all that stuff. That's all required.
I'm going to ask you a question. You don't have to be 100% honest on this, but are those
That's all you're gonna get out of me.
Are those not the longest damn days of the year for you?
I don't like the consumer shows a whole lot, but it's part of the gig.
No, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. But I could understand where that would get to be the longest day of the year would have to be dealing with people. And it's not that you don't like people, but you probably are a good old guy that just got lucky getting to do what you want to do, and you work hard at it, and you made your breaks. But you're still just the same old good old guy, and you probably don't enjoy that part because it makes you feel weird.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is weird doing it, but it's part of the game, like I said.
Well, and I mean, this is going to sound terrible, but
Andy's going to put his foot in his mouth. Go ahead.
I don't give a shit. Like, people show me, like, their hunting photos, and I'm like, that's great. I mean, I'm sure it's the same way with you. Like, hey, man, look at this 2.5-pound bass I got.
Yeah, but they tell you it's 6 pounds and then show you a picture of a 2.5-pounder, and you're like, yeah, that's nice.
They're doing, like, this number, like, holding it way out, and, like, they've got their arms fully extended. Like, oh, yeah. Camera, like, right up on it.
We had UFC fight. Matt Hughes, UFC fighter, was here hunting a couple years ago. It's been a while back. And I said something to him about that. I said, you get sick of signing autographs. He told me, he said, yes and no. He said, it gets old, but he said, I remember my first fight, and nobody asked me for an autograph when I got done fighting then. So he said, I can appreciate now people at least knowing who I was. He goes, but sometimes I wish I could go through an airport without having to sign a lot of autographs and stuff. But, you know, you got to remember those days when nobody gave two shits. You're just the guy with long hair putting the boat in. So
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you got a good attitude about things. So
did you have the hair game before you become a professional fisherman, or was that after?
Well, I used to. I always had this ritual where before I was fishing pro circuit, I'd like shave my head in the winter, and then I wouldn't cut my hair all year long. And it always seemed like once we got into that like August, September, October, that's when I'd start. Those were like my best months fishing as far as success goes. So then I just kind of like catch them better with long hair. So now I just start the year with kind of long hair and won't cut it till it's over. So
are you
just seems like it's more superstitious stuff.
So
I'm bad about that.
You are superstitious then?
Oh, bad.
Really?
Like,
is everybody?
The same underwear every day in the tournaments. Like, yeah, it's gross. Yeah, I got a lot of little rituals and stuff I do all the time, and it's bad.
Like what? What's your ritual?
Well, I got like a fishing prayer. I say I shave everything on my face except my mustache every night. Wear the same underwear. I got like 10 good luck charms in my boat. I never wash my boat. A couple other.
You have a fishing prayer?
Yeah.
Can you share that with us? Or is that too
yeah,
personal?
I can. So what?
Is that too personal?
No, we can. But like we gotta do it for real. Like.
Well, I mean, just
that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, how does it go? The gist of it.
The gist of it, I basically just asked for like safe travel up and down the river. Asked the fish open, calm mind, and you know, asked that the opportunities granted us. We can't. Shoot. I might as well just do it.
Go ahead.
It's easier to just do it than just
go ahead.
Just tell you what it's about. All right, full prayer mode. Hats off, boys.
Okay, hats off.
Come on.
I'm afraid to wash it because
we're praying.
Dear Lord, please grant us safe travels up and down the river. Allow us to think cool and calm and with an open mind. Allow us to make the adjustments we need and allow us to capitalize on the opportunities you grant us. Please look over our family and loved ones while we're away. Protect them, keep them safe. We love you. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Very
bud.
beautiful.
That's very good.
Very beautiful.
That's it.
We need more God in the world, anyways. That's a great deal.
You've got that one. You've got it refined. That is precise and to the point.
That's the bass prayer.
Yeah, that's the bass prayer right there. And obviously it works, so I'm sure people are going to be stealing it from you now.
May or may not, but I couldn't go to bed without saying it. I know that.
Yeah, I don't go the underwear, but I do, like, if I've got some good mojo going, like I want my outer clothes. The attire stays the same. I'll switch my underwear out, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I could go.
Yeah, lucky hat, lucky lighter, lucky shoes. I mean, everything.
I do, though. I have a goose prayer, but it's a little different than that. I don't go to bed praying a deal, but I have many times when we've had mornings struggling and I'm watching from the road, you guys hunt, I have said, Lord, please let this flock do it. I don't care if you let anybody shoot anything. Just let the birds come in there and let us shoot at them. I don't care if you want them to die. Just please, Lord, let us shoot at these birds.
Let us get a little bit of trigger time, please. What is? Do you enjoy fishing with a cameraman? Or did that take a while?
Yes and no. I mean, I'm a smoker, and there's a lot of times I can't smoke because of the camera guys. But other than that, it's cool. It's cool to have all that stuff captured, saved forever, and people get to see it. But
So
sometimes it's just I just want to bang a dart, and I can't, and it's whatever.
because you're on air, you can't smoke.
Do you,
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. And you probably need it, because you're the super.
In my head, I do. I don't really, but
Yeah, but you're the superstitious guy, and because we've got hunters or guides that used to smoke, and they're like, I think if we light one up, I really think
Go ahead.
this will change our
well,
luck.
when I bang a dart, I usually get a bite, no doubt.
So
so
see
they
there?
don't let y'all aren't allowed to smoke on camera?
I mean, we get times when we can, but there's certain times when if you're live at the moment, you can't. But
Well, I got
they're running multiple cameras. They're switching between guys all day, and you're gonna get a chance sooner or later where it comes off you. But yeah, there's sometimes where it's no.
so but I mean that's against the bass rules, no smoking.
Not really. No, just
Tell
we're
them.
not supposed to when we're on live.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that is it's fishing. If you guys popped open a beer and drank a cigarette, the people
Beer is against the rules.
Right.
There's no alcohol
right.
consumption allowed during the tournaments, but there isn't a rule against tobacco. It's just
But y'all's people that are watching y'all are tobacco smokers, dippers, or drinkers.
absolutely.
They're forgetting who they're kind of like NASCAR. They've forgotten who the hell their audience is.
Yeah.
Have you tried the dipping snuff?
Yeah, not for me.
Doesn't have the same effect.
No, I just I don't even know if it's the nicotine. I just blowing smoke. I don't know.
You need you're probably like a fidgeter. It comforts you.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a song that you listen to that gets you fired up? Because Andy's got this fucking stupid ass Shania Twain song he goes before he goes hunting. I don't know why.
Only listen. I don't waste Shania on easy hunts. I only put on Shania if I need some mojo.
So do you have a song like that you listen to?
Not a specific song. I got a whole playlist I'll play on the way to the ramp in the morning.
So were you nervous before every cast or before every boat launch, or just when you were?
No, I mean when I started I was, but I haven't really been nervous much at all years past until about halfway through this year. But like I said, I've never really been in contention for until this year.
Are there groupies at the Bassmasters? Do y'all have a bunch of hot chicks running around?
Yeah, we got groupies, but they're 50-year-old men. They're not. It's not that glamorous, but yeah, we definitely have groupies, but they're
That cracks me up.
they're not hot chicks at all.
That's terrible.
So when you go on a tour, your wives don't have to worry about y'all. Then is what you're saying?
No, not unless you're into 50-year-old dudes. No.
Probably big and hairy.
Are there any chicks on the circuit? Because I looked at the list. I didn't see no women.
There's a few of them in the minor leagues. Nothing on the pro side yet.
Has there ever been a woman compete in the men's tournaments?
I mean, the minor league stuff, and then there was a time that they actually had a women's circuit for a little while, but that kind of faded away. But yeah, there's a couple, 2, 3, 4 of them in the opens right now trying to get into the Elite Series. So
maybe they'll make it. So what do they have? What do they got planned for you at Boss today?
we're just hanging out, BSing. Had a couple guns Cerakoted, getting some new shells. Did the forcing cone on a couple of guns for me, and yeah, we're just BSing. Was driving. It's on the way home, so stop in and say hi.
Hang out and have a good day. Well, very good.
Well, if you ever make it down to West Texas and you want to come shoot some ducks, we'd sure like to have you come out and hunt with us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Anytime. Hey, is Sareki around you right now?
Yeah,
Have him jump on if you don't mind, please.
Brandon,
Yeah, fine, yeah.
you're coming in.
Hey.
What's up?
Brandon, you need to do something with your hair.
Yeah, like listen, you got that mane next to you. You
Look,
got to step up your game.
I mean,
bud.
if you're going to be sitting by the llama, you need to get your hair done a little bit better.
My son's doing that for us.
Okay.
I'm not doing it.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's starting to grow it out. He's right over here. Yeah, he's trying to get the flow in the back. So we'll see how far it goes. His mother's not thrilled about it though.
So is he in heaven today that he's got Feider in the shop?
Is he
in
what?
heaven today that now that he's got Feider in the shop and gets to hang out with him?
Pretty excited that Feider's here. Yeah, he's pretty
pretty
happy.
jazzed.
Happy kid.
Good.
Yeah.
Hey, so explain everything. Explain the shells real quick about the powder and all that good stuff, because there's some misinformation going around.
Well, what's the misinformation?
That Boss is not going to have anything out until October.
No, I mean we got inventory now. 3-inch we don't, because we've got so many back orders we're filling up, and with the shortages, I mean the shortages now it's everywhere from metal to plastic to wads, hulls, powder being the worst one now, but it changes on a daily basis. Just 5 minutes ago, Steve was here telling me that we've got a container that we just brought in now, and there's supposed to be one leaving Italy in 2 weeks, but there's no 12 gauge on it. And as soon as we may have more 12 gauge in stock, would probably be in October. It sucks. I mean, I was just talking to Seth's wife, it's like we worked all last year when COVID was shut down, but it seems like we're the only ones that have, and everyone else is just saying, shortage. I don't get it. So it's going to be tight this year. It's going to suck, but I don't want to scare everyone. But I kind of, when was that? February? We were talking about, these shortages, not to panic, get the stuff earlier if you can. And I think 3-inch is going to be tough to get this year. We were thinking it was going to be a powder issue, is going to limit that, but I think now it might just be no hulls. So we may have some 2 3/4 stuff, but now's the time. Like, I hate to say it. I mean, I want to keep working all the way through hunting season, but I might be hunting a lot this year because we're not going to be making shotgun shells. It sucks, but is what it is.
We had a guy yesterday on our page had wrote on there that if you want to get Bosch, you're going to have to wait till October. They're going to be out. Well, I was just told y'all have them now, but by October y'all might not have any. So and I've been telling people for the last month, if you want to get your shells, you need to buy them now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that are pissed off that they can't get them when it's November 15th and they want to order a case of shells. But we're doing our best. I mean, that's consumed me. I mean, I don't sleep that well most nights. Like, just figuring out what can we do to get powder, what do we have to do to get more shot, more metal. It's just we're just fighting fires, man. Doing the best we can.
Do you think that this is a 1-year deal? Do you think next year we'll be back to normal on the shells?
It's going to go through next year. There's some conversations we're having that people don't even want to talk to us about moving forward with any new business opportunities until spring of 2023. So next year's going to suck too.
Okay.
But I think what we'll do is we're going to be able to get what we need just in smaller quantities. So for us being direct, if guys don't mind buying their shells in like February, March, April, we'll have that steady trickle. So we've been producing at a consistent rate every day this year. So yeah, now we've got inventory, but a lot of that, is now sitting in people's lockers at home because they've already gotten it.
The ammo deal is going to hit for real in Texas, September 1st, when opening day dove season gets here, and these people go to Academy or where these places are, and they buy their dove loads, and they find out, well, you know what? They don't have a lot of dove loads. Then you're going to start seeing people really realize how serious it's going to be this fall.
Yeah.
But I've been telling guys,
our buddies in Italy have told us that their shortages they have over there in Europe are largely due to pistol rifle. So the capacity in these plants and all the raw materials at the powder plants are being used to manufacture center fire and handgun, metallic they call it over there in Italy. So that's this whole gun buying craze that got started with combination of the whole BLM thing, the terrorist riots, and then the election. The strain that we're seeing with shot shell is because the powder with all that going to center fire and handgun. So
we'll just, if you need shotgun shells for this year, get them ordered. Don't be a dick and hoard them.
I mean, I hate being that fear guy, but you're right. I mean, now you got to get it. You got to get them. If you want them, you got to get them. And what we don't want people doing is buying 4 cases when they only need 1, because that's 3 other customers, potentially new customers that we can't support because one guy wants to hoard it. And we're not in a hoarding situation. We're not going out of business. It's just tight supply. So if there's anything that I can ask the viewers to do is just like, be cool, don't hoard it, get what you need, maybe a little bit more, but don't start stockpiling. It's not cool.
That's going to be hard for.
It hurts our business is what it really does. So it's like maybe a selfish thing to say, but we need to get our product in as many people's hands as possible to keep this thing going. And now is not the time to stockpile.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's going to be hard for guys like us, guys down south that have seasons that go so late, January, February. Guys up north, if you're done Thanksgiving, well, you'll be able to get shells all the way through your season, but.
Well, I don't know. I mean, guys want 12 gauge 3-inch. We were talking after we get through all of our back orders, we were going to shut down the 2 3/4 12 gauge production to save the powder to put in the 3-inch hulls, because that's where all the new customers, even though we shoot 2 3/4 here at the shop, all the new guys are so ingrained with shooting a 12 gauge 3-inch, they want it. They don't realize they're shooting a ton of payload and they're spending more money for all the extra shot, but that's what they want. So we said, okay, we'll give the market what they want. So we were going to shut the 2 3/4 off, but I think we're going to end up getting to a point where we'll have powder, but not hulls. So once we extinguish all of the 3-inch hulls, we'll switch back and start making 2 3/4. But we got stingers, so we got good inventory on that. The 20 gauge, we do have enough stock to hit our production goal that we forecast at the beginning of the year. But we shut off sub gauge, so 28 gauge, 2 3/4 20 gauge, 16 gauge, all that stuff's pretty much wrapped for the year because we're going to try to conserve as much powder as we can for 12 gauge stuff, provided we've got 12 gauge hulls. So total curveball thrown at me this morning, us not being able to get 12 gauge hulls for another 2 months, but whatever. I mean, we're doing our best.
Good.
I just had a guy, they booked a 12-man crane hunt for 3 days, and he was asking me, I said, you call boss? I said, you need to call him now. And I said,
yeah.
He said, what I need? I said, just get 2 3/4 inch shells. Well, yeah, but we need 3-inch. I said, no, you don't. I said, trust me. The 2 3/4 inch is perfect. So there's a big order from Texas. It should have been there yesterday. It might be today.
Thanks. No, we started the company on the 2 3/4 12 gauge, man. And it worked. It still does work, and it'll continue to work. It's just getting these guys to kind of come around to it. And like I said, the business that we started off as kind of a hobby and a fun project has grown now. And we're getting to people that aren't talking to us that we haven't spoken to. So some of these guys are buying 12 gauge 3-inch. They're 4 people removed from knowing what the company's all about. Yeah. So, I mean, it's tough, but like I said, we're doing our best.
Well, I told them, I said, listen, call Brandon, tell them I said, they'll drop ship it right to the Big Honker Lodge. We get shipments from them all the time for y'all. Name will be on it. We'll store it for you. So
let us wrap up with Feider, and then we're going to let y'all go have y'all's day.
See you, Brandon.
Thank you for explaining that, Brandon, because I know everybody's freaking out right now. What do you shoot, Feider?
Well, last year I shot all 20 gauge 3-inch number 5s, and this year I just got a 28. So
that's a fun gun.
Playing around with that.
So you're the sub gauge guy.
Yeah, well, that's the cool thing about Boss. Right. I mean, it brings back the cool old guns. Fire up your grandpa's Model 12 or A5 or 16, 20 gauge, 28. I mean, 410, whatever you're into.
Well, I was cruising your Instagram and you had a picture of an old. Whose gun is that you had that you were bringing out because you were able to get shotgun shells for it? Let me see if I can find it. Was it your dad's or your granddad's?
Well, my dad bought the one I shot all last year was my dad's Ithaca XL 900. It was his upland gun, but I Cerakoted it and duck hunted with it all last year.
Well, now my shit's not loading. That was probably it. But yeah, that's the cool thing about Boss is that you can bust out Grandpa's old gun and you're not gonna fuck it up. You're not gonna crack it. So, I mean, they can make a load special for that.
So hey, is Dirk sitting in the room with y'all still?
He was.
That's a funny son of a bitch. I'm telling you right now. God dang, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
Has he?
He's got some stories.
The ones with the Tiger King. Gosh almighty.
Oh yeah.
You need to let him give the llama a tattoo now.
I think he might.
He would jump at the opportunity. Well,
yeah, no, I think he's gonna hook me up.
Well, Seth, we appreciate you coming on. Congratulations on winning Angler of the Year. We're really we're happy for you. If you get down to Texas, you've got an open invitation down here with us. So go enjoy it, man. And
we're gonna be at Game Fair doing some podcasts with Brandon and them at the Boss.
Okay. Yeah, I might swing in there. It's not far from my house. I got to see where I'm at. I'm got a pretty crazy schedule the next few weeks. But,
well, enjoy the legendary status.
Yeah, we'll do.
A lot of hard work went into it, so congratulations, bud.
Thank you and have a good day, and God bless you.
Yeah, thanks, boys. We'll see you.
I didn't get it.
Seth Feider.
Angler of the Year.
Cool dude. Brandon hangs out with cool people. Brandon's a cool dude. I'm telling you right now. Listen, folks, on that Boss ammo.
He's serious.
Yeah, I mean, you're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth on that thing. Don't wait till October. Buy your stuff now while you still can get them. And it's not going to be. It's going to be everywhere.
Right. No, it's not just going to be
ammunition is going to be, and I said that earlier. Ammunition is going to be a big factor in the 20. I said it yesterday with Haley. Was talking about it, and I said I think the biggest thing is going to be the weather this year and the lack of ammo late in the season. So buy your shells.
Snow goose. I mean, fuck, you run through a case.
Yeah, them spring boys are really going to be in big trouble.
Because that's February, March. Well, nobody's going to have their supply. I mean, if they're talking about running out by October, November.
Do you remember back a long time ago when you'd hear people coming in here and it would be the end of January and someone would go to a Walmart or somewhere and they'd have shells for $5 a box just to take them off the deal?
Yeah.
That shit ain't going to be happening.
No. If they have shotgun shells, it's going to be. I'm telling you, our January's filled up. So if you don't have shotgun shells and you're one of those guys listening, it will pay to plan ahead.
If everybody out there has time, say a prayer for Tony. He's fixing to have some surgery today for being a dumbass.
No masturbation for 6 weeks.
Tore his shoulder up. Logan Pyatt done TKO'd Tony. And
he's just too strong. He's going to have to walk around with like a waiver in his pocket.
I'm telling you right now,
he's too strong.
David Lee Roth used to make them girls sign a waiver if he had sex with them. Logan's going to have to make people sign a waiver at a bar if he
starts arm wrestling.
Starts arm wrestling them.
If you start seeing Logan like giving the old windmill, just know there's some fucking over the top coming on.
Do you think Tony's ever laid in bed the last couple of nights and thought that was the dumbest thing I've done drunk? And Tony's done some stupid shit while he's drunk.
Yeah. That sucks. I mean, of all like
torn bicep,
torn rotator cuff, torn labrum, crack in his shoulder socket. When we were at church last week, you know, you have the prayers and concerns. I put Tony on there and I listed off everything. And like, you're at church, so when people come up asking you like, did he fall down? Like, was he lifting something heavy? And I'm like,
the bar.
Shit. Well, honestly, because you know you're not supposed to lie at church.
You're not supposed to lie at church. Outside church, I can lie, but not in church.
Well, you can stretch the truth a little bit. I'm like, well, honestly, like we were at a bar and everybody started arm wrestling, and Tony felt 25 again. So they're like, did he do it all right there? And I'm like, well, that's what the doctor says.
25-year-old Tony would have won that match.
Logan's pretty strong. And he had the bar and he had leverage and everything else.
25-year-old Tony would have won.
I don't know.
Tony almost won this one
and
at 50.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah. Now, he was a lot stronger then. He probably would have won then. But he did. He's too old. He won't be doing that shit again. Then somebody, I said something yesterday about it, and someone's like, was being a smart ass. Well, was he fixing to have that sex change operation? And I put, no, he's got to have 6 bypasses. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I said, no, smart ass.
Dickhead.
He's going to have his shoulder operated on. So I felt really bad for a second.
Good, you should. That's what we were going
He said,
for.
I've never heard nobody having 6 bypasses. I said, oh, my dad did.
Yeah. He's got the record still.
I told him last night, too. I said, if you would have had 6 bypasses, the recovery wouldn't be as bad as this is going to be.
It's going to be rough.
This is worse than having open heart surgery.
I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah. Dad said when they cut out half his lung for lung
was way
cancer,
worse?
that was way worse than having heart surgery.
How old was Ron?
When he had open heart surgery?
Yeah. It was 2006.
61, 62.
So he was older than Tony.
2000. No, it was,
Well,
it was 66.
Ron bounced
66.
back. Oh, well, Ron bounced back from the lung thing, so Tony will be okay.
Tony's like Dad. I don't handle this shit as well. Tony and Dad both are the same, so Tony will come back fine. He's gonna be miserable for about 4 hours. Tony's gonna be fucking miserable for about 2 weeks.
I just had my labrum done, but
You were 17 years old. 16 years old makes a big difference.
no, exactly. But it's a pain like you can't imagine. Like,
Tony's carrying about
this,
130 more pounds than you did too.
It's this like deep in your fucking bones, just aching. But I did not have a bidet. I had to wipe left-handed. Tony's at least got himself a bidet. He's got himself an electric recliner, so he's taking some precautions. But that first shower, when you take that sling off and it kind of like just hangs, just the weight of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't think about how much gravity pulls down on your shoulder, but like when you've got it harnessed up for 2 or 3 days and like you take that first shower and it comes off, that sling comes off, and you just kind of do that number, and then it just kind of flops there, and you're just like, motherfucker, can't get it wet. I mean, it's a fucking mess. But at least he'll miss all of dove season now. That's always good.
He won't miss it.
He won't be much help.
Well, he might not be.
He's not going to be splitting logs, starting fires,
No, he won't.
flipping steaks.
No.
He'll be here in spirit.
It's August. It's July. Yeah, it's 6 weeks from now. He'll be a lot more than you think he can do. He won't be able to do a lot of it, but he can get around and do shit. He can take people and show them where to go.
Jeff.
It's a fucking shoulder. It's
Jeff.
not cutting his legs off. He'll be fine.
Jeff.
What?
I've been there. I've done it.
All right.
You're talking to a pro here from shoulder surgery.
At everything.
It sucks, but at least he's getting it fixed.
All right.
He sure has been whining though, so
Thank God this is happening.
I'm glad that's coming to an end.
All right. Thank y'all for listening to y'all. God bless you. Have a great day.
Check out all of our sponsors. Go check out Boss if you need shotgun shells for this season. Order what you need. Don't be a dick and hoard it. Get what you need, maybe a little bit more, and that's it. Dive Bomb Industries, Pacific Calls, Shin Gear Waders, Dirty Duck Coffee, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Duck Club, Gundog Outdoors, Goose Creek Retrievers, Eyesight Drone Service, Bangtail Whiskey, and Stanfield Hunting Outfitters.